Do not need a 9-to-5 job to pay your bills. You need money. You need income. But the problem for most people is that they have no creativity because the suppression through your early ages, going through school, college, university, and then into the workplace has got rid of all of your outside the box thinking, and you just follow everyone else like a wage slave, like sheep. So look, trigger warning, this video is definitely not for those who cannot understand what I'm saying, or at least explore and be open-minded to the fact that you do not need a job. I mean, that's the truth, you don't. You need to learn sales, you need independence, you need to be in thrive mode, not survive. But anyway, we're going to get into that. Basically, you need to stop being an NPC, but most people around the world are NPCs. They follow the herd, right? So look, you need income, you need to make money, you don't need a job. But here's the truth. Most of society as a whole, they go through the education system, they get told that they need a job, they go into a job interview, the suppression increases where you're told, you know, you need to do this task and it's going to be this amount of hours a week and you'll get paid this amount, and you're told. Nothing's discussed. There's no fair exchange for the time that you're going to give away. The time that you will never get back. You are told what you are going to do. Everything about a job is assigned to you. So you stop thinking for yourself. You lose all independence and you become dependent. And there's a great quote: a man that does not own his time will never be free. So it's never about how much money you make, but the corporate world wants you to think it is about the amount of money that you make. The higher you climb throughout the corporate ladder, the bigger the title, you know, the badge of honor on LinkedIn, you know, allowing you to change your job title and description. I'm now general manager, regional manager, executive assistant, director. Okay, you think that that is what we should be celebrating. And what's really backwards is if someone does step outside the norm, outside of a job, to be creative, to think for themselves, to start innovating, bring in their own money, you know, people point and judge. Oh, you're starting a business. Oh, I wouldn't do that. That's risky. Which leads me on to my next point. Never take advice from someone that isn't doing or has done what you want to do. Because here's the thing about a 9-to-5 job. It is rewiring your belief system. Because if you disagree with me right now, it's not even that you have a different thought process to me. I'm actually challenging probably your parents' beliefs, which have been instilled in you. Or I'm challenging right now your social circle, because people are so easily influenced and they don't think for themselves, which is why we have 99% employees around the world and you only have 1% which are the entrepreneurs. Because people are easily influenced, which is not a good thing, by the way. People think that you need a mortgage. People think that you should be grateful and, you know, it's a privilege to have a job. In fact, Mac, can you just pop up a screen cap here of someone who said to me in the comments section, have a read of this, it's a privilege to have a job. Have a read of that. How brainwashed is that individual? I mean, that is mad. Could you imagine being grateful for giving away your time for an unfair exchange of pay? You're not valued. You are replaceable in a heartbeat, but yet you're still grateful for a job. In fact, take a look, right? Have a look at some of the pop-ups on the screen now with different comments. We've got some really good ones where people have woken up, where some of my content has inspired people. This lady has gone on to build her business and she's getting out of her job. And we've got some other people here who believe that having a job is great. And then we've got someone else who you'll also see on screen who has said, the only thing hard work and working for someone else has got them is a broken body. And that's the God's honest truth, right? Is that most people are in this horrific survival mode. Look at what happened during, I'll say, Cucumber 19. Do you remember that god-awful time during 2020, right? And the world shut down. What did people do? They went into survival mode. Everyone stopped thinking for themselves and they just listened. to everything on the news. Go get your jabs, do this, put on a mask, don't do that, you can't go out. And 99% of people did exactly as they were told, because they're in survival mode. And that is what's so, to me, so shocking and scary, because I carried on as normal, by the way. I still went out, I still went to the gym. I didn't get any of the jabs, by the way. You know, I'm sure I'm going to trigger some people by talking about that, but I didn't. You know, I'm pure, I'm clean in my opinion, because I thought for myself. You know, I looked, I'm healthy. You know, I'm looking around me, everything was still okay. Like I'm aware that the news is total propaganda,